Alright, so originally I was gonna do this entire like video series where I go over every build, like and do like a fun build and a serious build, fun build, serious build, use the artifact, don't like all these weird rules and stipulations and all this other crap. However, I am scrapping that idea. I am just going to talk about builds that I use, and I will use the artifact, and we'll just talk about why I like to use them, what they're good at, and like any problems I have with the build. So, right, we're gonna start off with Titan, because that was the first character ever made, and we're gonna go straight to no backup plan. This is a build that I really want to work in endgame, but there is just glaring issues with this exotic, and it really comes down to Void Overshield. So if you don't know, the entire point of this build is that no backup plans is an exotic that when you get multi-kills with a shotgun or you kill like a strong opponent with a shotgun, you get an overshield. And another stipulation is while you have a Void Overshield that doesn't require to get multi-kills with a shotgun, you get a 35% damage boost on your shotguns, right? And this can stack with Trench Barrel. I think it can stack with Surges. I want to say it can stack with other crap, but part of me just think it only stacks with Surges. But anyways, the entire point is you're a shotgun man, right? You shoot your shotgun and stuff like that. Now, the issue with this exotic is that you need Void Overshield. And if you don't know, Void Overshield is trash. It has 50 health, you have 50 damage resistance, but because of its 50 health, it gets ripped off immediately. Like, you'd have to stack maybe Woven Mail on top of Void Overshield for it not to rip off. But that's the biggest issue. The reason why I want to use this build in endgame, but I can't, is that Void Overshield just comes off too easily. And even then, using a shotgun that close is a pretty big risk. The only time I've had success with this build in quote-unquote higher-end content is like if I'm doing Crota's End, or maybe Valve Disciple and Roke isn't targeting me and I throw down a Bastion Overshield on top of him. Like, even for Crota, I'd have to throw down a Bastion Barricade on top of him, and if it gets ripped off, there you go. And that's the other big issue. Without the Void Overshield, this exotic basically does nothing for you in like a boss fight. Because you can't get a rapid, like, you have to get either rapid precision kill, or rapid shotgun kills, or Void Overshield to get it going. And if you can't do either of those, it's useless, right? So that sucks. But I do like using this build in, like, you know, some what do you call it, like seasonal activity, maybe like a Lost Sector if I can get it to work. But it's really one of those builds where I want it to work, but it's just that Void Overshield is trash. But we'll go over the aspects and fragments. Offensive Bulwark, because this gives you a melee damage buff and you get some melee damage and grenade recharge. And then Bastion, obviously, because this is one way to get a Void Overshield. For Grenade, I like Void Wall. It does like a lot of damage, but it's very situational, but I personally like it. You can go for other stuff. Shield Throw is because it's another way to get a Void Overshield. And then we're using Ward of Dawn because this can also give you a Void Overshield, technically, while you're inside of it. For Fragments, I use Echo Harvest because it gives you a Void Breach, and a Void Breach gives you class ability. So you get your class ability back faster. Echo of Undermining for Weaken, you know, for Echo of Harvest makes sense. Echo of Leeching is a personal thing because again, ideally you want to be in the fray, so you get a melee kill with Offensive Bulwark as well. It gives you melee damage, you can start health regen, plus 10 resilience really. And then Echo of Starvation is just Devour's usually just a good thing to have. Because even if you can't like go on a killing spree or whatever, picking up an orb more or less gives you most of your health. Now this has been nerfed on other Void class outside of Warlock with Feed the Void, but it's still a pretty good effect. So there you go. For weapons, obviously you want to use shotguns. Now this is kind of another issue with the build, is that you want to use shotguns, but there's not really you don't really have many options in terms of like in the heavy slot. There's only Acreus. There's no like legendary heavy shotgun or whatever, so that kind of sucks. So if you want to like optimize or maximize this exotic, you kind of want to run like 2 shotguns, usually a kinetic, and then obviously Acreus. Again, Acreus does a ton of damage as Trench Barrel as the catalyst. Also with Acreus, I kind of want to run Arc Dexterity because this thing has like 0 dexterity and it's really slow to pull out. Also, another benefit that this thing should have is like the War Machine from Destiny 1 Void Titan, where you just have like better handling and reload. That should just be a thing. But anyways, like I'd rather take like better handling and reload over AE. Well, I mean, it gives you better reload, but I want handling for this, not just AE and reload. But yeah, talking about shotguns again, obviously Acreus, you know, I use you can use a Dagio. I have a trench barrel Wasteland I like to use as well, because you know, you punch and then you get bonus damage. I think it's this one, get led from gold trench barrel. Again, take your pick of exotic shotguns, you know, the conditional finality, like people like to use with this one. And then, I think a slept on one is Chaperone. Chaperone can deal some crazy damage. The only issue is its ammo, because in Destiny 1 it was solar, but it also had a perk where if you got like 3 precision kills, I want to say, you get 2 ammo back, and that doesn't exist on this weapon. It really does need like a buff in PvE, and PvP it's a madness. So, but the reason why is because Roadborne, sorry. When you get a precision kill, this thing actually increases your crit damage. So yeah, it says your precision damage and your fire rate. So you get a kill, you can start like mag dumping this thing really fast. It's a really cool pairing, and I don't really see Chaperone used a lot in PvE, because honestly, it's kind of like, it's just a slug shotgun. Chaperone's exotic perk that is a slug shotgun. It was the first one in the game. Use an update. But yeah, for this build, we're gonna use the artifact. I will try a Lost Sector with it. I think it's Thrilladome. Thrilladome is trash for this. I will try to make it work in Thrilladome. We have what, Overload and Barrier? So I need a, hold on. We're going to switch over to Suppressor Grenade because that stuns overloads, and then we're going to need to, what's the burn? Is it a Void Burn? It is Void Burn. Okay. Also, another thing too with the build, obviously, if you can't shotgun the boss, this build is pretty fucking useless, right? I think this is fine. I won't run Solar Resist. I don't need Solar Resist. Actually, wait, no, I do, because there's nothing else arc in there outside of the radio area. Also, I need a Void Sidearm of Demolitionist. I'm about to pull out a gun that most of you probably forgot about. If I still have it. Moral of the story, it pays to be a horde in this game. Where is it called? Where is it? Sorry. Take me a bit. I do still have it. Feast your eyes on this. And then you need to infuse it. Let me grab a random thing to infuse with. Move. Sorry again, I should have been more prepared for this one. I know I got a pre-Stynax thing that was pretty okay. This one. Yeah, Lightnax. I mean, I already have a better one. But we're gonna do this because this has this has Demolitionist. Yep, they don't make them like they used to anymore. One of a kind. Ignore that. We're just gonna put that on. And yeah, we are using the artifact because this is a struggle build and it's gonna need all the help it can get. I'm not using Flint Striker because I can't. I'm not using Solar Weapon. I could just use a Solar Sidearm like Heliocentric, honestly, and I probably should. Can Heliocentric roll? Do I not have a Demolitionist Heliocentric? Hold on. I was thinking of using a Void Weapon because it is like volatile and other bullshit, but I'm just dumb. Incandescent Heal Clip, Incandescent Heal Clip. We'll go with this one because, you know, when was the last time you saw someone use this thing? Anyways, the long intro out the way, we'll go into the Lost Sector here. Again, I'm not gonna go into a GM with this thing. It's not meant for this. It really isn't. This is a fun build. If you want to run some seasonal content and just use shotguns. It really needs a buff. This is, again, I cannot stress to you, I really want to like this build, but it needs a buff. It needs, Bullet Overshield needs to be either stronger, or this needs to have some other contingent or some other factor to get the damage buff for the shotguns, because, and maintain that void overshield. Like what you could do, I even forgot to go over the mods. Helmets, nothing to talk about. Like you can look at these. They're nothing really like, oh wow, this, you know, you have to see this because this makes sense. Just go whatever you think is best. Again, I usually run like, you know, sustain mods like recuperation and better already. If this will load properly. Yeah, insulation. Yeah, to give me class stability, energy. Arc scavenger because we're using Acreus. I mean, powerful attraction. I don't need it. Probably should use Reaper and proximity ward, to be honest. Now, if you want to, you could run Bulwark Finisher, but again, you have to get 3 armor charges. And it's, again, Void Overshield is just so weak. It's not worth the effort of getting all the it might not even be that hard to get the orbs, but it's like I cannot stress to you, Void Overshield's trash. It really is trash. We're gonna do this on Master, and yeah, you'll see what I'm talking about. Again, it really sucks. I want to like this build, but it's not good. I'll probably do a coil run with, I'm debating on Comte, because I mean, it's the coil. Do I really need to talk? I mean, I could talk if I want to, but it's not attrition, so that's nice. But yeah, we will try this. And then after that, after this little lost sector thing, we're going to go into the coil. So that would probably make this thing like an hour on its own, and then yeah. In terms of fun, this build can be really fun, and I do enjoy it. For instance, I can do this. Like, that's fun. But Void Overshield also, like in terms of buffs, Void Overshield needs to not have a timer. I don't know why it has a timer on it. That's bizarre to me. It's already so weak, you know what I mean? Also, the full auto retrofit also makes it really awkward to use some weapons because you tap it once and it, like, fires. Okay. What I'm trying to do is kill everything else around it. Okay. Right there, I really don't. I don't get the benefit of no backup plans because I didn't have my Void Overshield, and I couldn't proc Trench Barrel there. But as you can see, it is really hard. Like, I'll punch this guy, right? And look, my Void Overshield's already gone. Like, again, that was a red bar Hydra. I know it's Void Threat, but I hope this highlights, like, even with that, it is like to get the most out of this exotic. Like, if you want to proc Trench Barrel, you're probably gonna use your Void Overshield in the process. Like, we're being completely honest. Okay, so this one, I'm gonna purposely have my Acreus ready. Kind of need also, I can't make my Void Breaches. I should probably got some stabilizing rounds here so I can kill some volatile. But what we're gonna do here is bait the Overload. Because I know there's one here. We're gonna bait his ass over here, and we're gonna plant the this. Try to get him to melee me. Oh, did I have fastball on? Whatever. Like, that's impressive, right? But the amount of hoops you have to go through to get that going is insane. Also, I'm gonna quit out through this like halfway because, yeah, killing that boss is gonna take forever. Getting a Thrill Dome, like the Hydra boss where it's floating. Yeah, I can't use a shotgun on that thing without killing myself. Here, we'll use this a little more. If I can actually aim. I almost died there. That's kind of embarrassing, to be honest. We're gonna plant this. Punch this guy. I wonder if that procs Trench. Kind of wish I was using my subsistence to dodge a roll right now. I'm not thinking about it. I'll probably for the. I kind of want to show up the chaperone here. I might run this back. I died. I'm gonna run this back with the chaperone just to show you like the cool little funny precision damage things you can do. with that. I'm trying to think, is there a heavy weapon that has volt shot or some form of suppression or something? Oh, chill clip. I can run. I know what to do. I know the assignment. Gotta remember I have anti-bear, so I can just shoot through that. Alright, so there's 2 overloads here. I'm gonna avoid barricade, do what I did last time with the first one, and then probably gonna have to pop my super to get my abilities back, because you knew that would void to get both your abilities back. Actually, you might get all of them. I'm gonna grab the sword. Do this. As you can tell, that Minotaur just literally took that off me, so. Like I said, it does damage, and it's really fun. Like, I cannot stress to you. I know I have solo operative on, I know that, but still, it's pretty strong. Yeah, I think I have fastball. It's kind of fucking with me. Or no, it's not. I'm just really bad. It could be either or. I do have Devour here. That's defensive bulwark right there. Let me double check. Do I have fastball on? I do. See, I'm not crazy. I know my grenade. But yeah, we will end this right here for this run, because I'll just show you what you're gonna have to deal with in this lost sector. Like, yeah, look at this. You have platforms that fade in and out. And yeah, this is a close range build. I don't have range. That's the main thing. I'll see if I can try to go champion though, you know. It's hard to try. Let's see if this saves me. Looks like getting a shotgun kill does extend the effects of your, like, gives you a full refresh. I guess that's something. That do something to you? It did. Punch. I'm just gonna die here. Like I said, I'm not gonna do it, but I'm doing it anyways. I mean, actually, if I kill that guy up there, he drops a Vex Cranium, which is like the Hypernet current one that does like 1,000,000 damage. So I mean, I could do. I'll try. I'll try to make it work. I won't give up completely. I will try. But I do not like this lost sector because of this final. Ooh, okay, almost died to stick drift right there. I wondered what that was. That was my controller drifting. That was very cool. It is very risky. Why is there 2 of them? I know if you kill the Cyclops, the thing changes, but I'm just gonna have to go for it. Oh, I wasn't paying attention. Yeah, now I'm playing sloppy here. I might fast forward this part. We'll see. I'll run out here with my lightweight weapon so I get more mobility here. Oh, looks like it does stabilize the platform. That's nice. Wouldn't this, they don't count as a vehicle? It does, okay. As you can tell, I did get a hit with my shield, but my Void Overshield got ripped off almost immediately, so that's very cool. I get more ammo. We'll just go for it. Alright. No, I instinctively double tapped instead of single tap. There you go. I think I'm just dead here, because this bubble's gonna break soon. And I live. I really hate that I have fastball on, not gonna lie. Fastball sucks with suppressors. I'm just not used to the trajectory. Alright, for you, sir. This is our one condition. Because, I mean, I could shoot at him with anti-barrier sidearm for like 18 years. I kind of don't want to. Like that. Like, it took me that long to kill a heartbeat. Let's see if we can. As you can tell, I almost have my super back. This thing is juiced. Oh, I actually did it. All right. All right. This is probably one of the worst builds to use here, but I made it work. Just goes to show you, if you have patience and some game sense, you can make anything work, I guess. But yeah, like, I hope this kind of shows you the issues with it. As you can tell, there's a couple of times where my overshield gets ripped off completely, and there's nothing I can do. And again, range is a huge factor in this build. I mean, you could run like a scout rifle. Again, you don't have to run a void weapon here. I'm just used to running it because I'm used to running volatile rounds. But there you go. We'll go try the chaperone. I do not carry fire and forget on this character. I still have the suppressor grenade. I'll take off fastball. And sorry, this isn't the most professional. But again, I like to ramble for a bit, so that's what I'm gonna do. I mean, I could try conditional as well if you want to see conditional. For the chaperone and conditional test, I'll just do a little bit. Like I'll kill like a champion or two. Like as you can tell, I've cleared the lost sector, so that's good enough in my book. On master too, by the way. I know I'm solo operative, which is a good buff, 15% damage. So I'm doing what 35 plus 15. That's like what 60 or something. No, I can't do math. That is 50. I am very smart. But I'm doing 50% more damage on top of the trench barrel buff when I do have it. So you can tell like I'm two tapping. I'm two tapping a champion essentially, Vacrius, when I have everything going. And again, this isn't on Arc Surge. Imagine this was Arc Surge or it was Void Surge, and I had the kinetic buff for my shotgun. It would be way more. Sorry, I am looking for my fire and forget because it has chill clip on it and it's a linear. All right. So all we're doing is this, swapping this out. I'm not even changing scavengers. We're not doing that. I could use the rocket ladder and revolt shot. I just realized too. Does it have an extra perk? Doesn't. It does. Heating up and what? Was that heating up perpetual? Might actually be a keeper because you could get a lot of stability out of this one. Anyways, chaperone. I'll grab the rocket slider because it has volt shot on it as well, which can help out. And I have come around on this thing. I used to not like it because it didn't work with Trixley's, but and for general play, it's like a legendary format. It's very good. We will change this to Arc Scavenger here because probably gonna get double kills with the Arc Gun. They have nerfed doubles special, so I'm probably gonna run out of ammo. Be realistic, but yeah, we'll try it out with the chaperone. Again, if you want to maximize this, you can put on surge mods here, especially if you're running this in lower end content where I think this thing shines. But again, it's kind of overkill. But like, also another big issue. Again, like I mentioned, proccing trench barrel. In a lot of cases where you want to shotgun the boss, even a floating boss, they have like some weird AoE like stomp that will just rip off your Void Overshield. If Void Overshield had like a special property where it's more resistant to like melee attacks, like you know AoE like boss stomps, then maybe that could be another great buff for it. But the way it is now, it's like by the time you get like to a champion or something you want to use it on, your Void Overshield's getting ripped off. It's really sad. Again, I used to use this exotic all the way, like all the time in Destiny 1. I forgot to take off fastball. You get a little aggressive here. Alright, let's see if I can do it. Nope. Already messing up. Get a melee kill to get all my health back. Now, I just realized I picked probably the worst enemy to test this on because it's Vex. So, yeah, you know, on second thought, this chaperone example is not going to work out as well because it's Vex. I will see, though, if I can... Wait, that unproc Roadborne? Excuse me? Place this here real quick. Yeah, why'd I pick the Vex to do this? Like, they are probably the hardest to do this on because they're weird hitbox. And you can put this under, trust me, bro. It's actually really good. Okay, that's Roadborne. Look, okay, look. We will do conditional finality. We will do conditional finality. And then I will go to, like, a place. Maybe somewhere on Neo Muna, because everything's, like, 15 plus or something. It's not a Legend Lost Sector or Master Lost Sector, unfortunately, but I will try to show you. I mean, I could... It's Hypernet Current's the GM, and there is Cabal, but... Again, this build is not meant for that stuff, because you will just die, and you have a lack of range. So I guess Legend Lost Sector is probably the highest you can take this on. Like, maybe for... Like, I'll try this on Legend, with Chaperone. Because again, I really want to stress, like, when you get a precision kill with this thing and get the, like, I think you get 30% bonus headshot damage and a really fast fire rate, it's maybe it's not, like, stronger than, I mean, it's definitely not stronger than Accuracy, but DPS wise, it should be up there. I don't know, maybe someone in the D2 damage compendium can, if it's already been tested, like backup plans of Chaperone of Roadborne. They like to do, like, a lot of theoretical simulated DPS stuff. But anyways. Got to get an orb? Uh-uh. I'm dead. I don't know why I picked this fight right here. But it worked. No. And that's just without the buff. See, now, like, here's a perfect example. Unless I kill this guy, there's no way I'm getting a overshield. You know what I mean? Like, and even that, look, it just came off. Like, because the radial area puddles. It's like, wow. It's really hard to maintain an overshield. Oh, that actually gave it to me. I'm just dead. But we do have suppressor grenade, and we do have chill clip on this thing. We're gonna just chill clip him. I want his attention now, so he rushes. Come on. Not you. Now we have Volt Shot. One more time. Like, that's impressive. That is. For a special. That's actually really good. Like, I can see people, I can understand why people like to run conditional. I just like to run double shotgun to get the, you know, fun out of it, but it really is weapon. It really is, like, map dependent as well. If you don't know your strikes, you don't know your lost sectors. Like, I knew for a fact using it on this one in particular was gonna be rough. Actually, you know, we'll just send him to Thunderdome real quick. But as you can tell, also, I have no shotgun ammo, so now my exotic's useless. It's another one of those things, like, you know, like a stronghold situation where it's really good when you have a sword or strongholds, but if you don't have any sword ammo, the exotic does nothing for you, you know. I'm also out of normal. Oh no, there we go. Also could be due to the fact that I'm running double special. I fully can understand that. I did stun him. Okay, look, I'm making this work, but it's a cope. Yeah, it's a fun cope, but it's not. It's a build that isn't really that good, but it's fun. And if you're looking for a fun build, this is a fun build. I recommend running. You can run in some lost sectors. I mean, this is arguably one of the worst lost sectors running on them, and I'm making it work. I'm just gonna end it here because we already know what's gonna happen. For Chaperone, I'm gonna go to Neo Muna real quick and run to, like, some random ass lost sector. I mean, I actually am on Neo Moon. I'm just gonna go to the Gilded Precept one. And yeah, and then after this, I'll probably edit in a limited commentary, no commentary coil run, and the coil can get kind of fun because you can get like the lethal recharge for your melee, where if you get any kills can give you back your your melee ability, your class ability. Void damage has a chance to suppress. I mean, suppression doesn't really do much, at least to my knowledge, to normal enemies. Maybe it like makes them stop shooting. I can't remember. But yeah, like I said, in terms of fun, it's when you can get it to work, it's really fun. But it's that you have to be very cognizant of when you have your void overshield stuff. It's one of those like I call it the Hawk Moon problem, where like when I use Hawk Moon, I want every single shot for the longest time. I wanted every single shot to be Paracolor times 7. It drove me mad trying to use it, and I just started to hate Hawk Moon. Now after that I started using it more and more. Naturally, I understand that every shot needs to be perfect or whatever. Like I get that. Now I love the exotic. But with this build, it's kind of like the Hawk Moon problem, where like I really want to have Trench Barrel, Void Overshield, some Surge Mod or Ward of Dawn going to do massive damage, or just even proccing Trench Barrel with Void Overshield. But in doing so, I'll get my Void Overshield ripped off, and now it's basically like the same. Honestly, if you want a way to view this exotic, it just gives every shotgun Trench Barrel without having to do a melee punch to activate it, because 35%. I believe Trench Barrel is also 35%. Although, actually, no, I think I want to say Trench Barrel is 50% for 3 shots. I can't remember. Well, it gives you a maxed out Swashbuckler. How about that? That's your, there you go. I don't think you, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, if it is 35%, I wonder in Crucible if it's the same way, you start bodying with slugs once you get going. But, yeah, we're gonna do this real quick. That's 66. Now, I know the red bar, but it went from 33 to like 66. So, I mean, that's almost double. Actually, let me, I'm gonna let Roadborne run off. Yeah, because I do have a Void Overshield. Now I'm kind of curious. These guys. 36. 45. Okay, so that's more, that makes more sense. I think I saw it 66 because I had a Void Overshield. Maybe I should run Special Ammo Finisher or something. I was gonna put on Kinetic Scavenger. But yeah, I'm kind of hoping Chaperone gets buffed for PvE. It's a really fun exotic. I know in PvP it's a menace. It still is, even after the nerf, because Roadborne's just that good. We're gonna just use this heavy here to get some special, because there is a, I want to say, orange bar. Yeah, there's like 2 of them. Again, mind the atrocious aim here. I'm just trying to get ammo for Chaperone. We'll just use this thing as Volt Shot. I really cannot aim. Alright, let's do like this guy. Never mind, he flew away. Okay, never mind, he's back. Like, that's... I mean, I could have just done that normally, honestly. Like, I'm not going to pretend like that's backup plans there. I'm pretty sure Chaperone could have done that to him normally. Anyways, we're going to try to get to the boss room here. We're going to try to get to the boss room, which is also notoriously going to be bad because the boss is Stomp, has a lot of range. I really need to get rid of Fastball. I'm going to do that, actually, after this. Can I... I back it. Oh, perfect. Not all my builds are cope builds. I consider this a cope build because it's trying to make a exotic that's not that good usable. Or maybe not that good's harsh. It's a very situational exotic. When you can get it going, it's good. That's the best way I can describe it. But even then, it's like, you gotta jump through hoops and do all that, and then Shreya Titan over in the corner, it's like, by the way, just get a melee kill, finisher, or sword kill, and here's 40% damage to all melees and swords for like 20 seconds. And you only need to do that much to upkeep it, and you're also on Strand, so you can apply Sever. Because, like, yeah, this used to, because this actually does change color depending on your subclass. It'd be really cool if, maybe I should try this on Strand Titan, and, or do you have to be on Void Titan? I'll double check the exotic, but I'm thinking, like, what if I just need to be able to apply Sever to something, and then hopefully my Void Overshield won't just get immediately ripped off and I die. I know I'm dying right now. I'm just trying to get rid of Fastball. I can't stand Fastball. But yeah, let me reread it because I know it does change. While using while using a Void subclass, if they change this to be neutral, I could definitely see a play to be made on Strand Titan because it's just Sever alone, or maybe using a Slice weapon. Yeah, I could use a Slice weapon, but then I'd have to use like Acreus because the only Slice weapon are in the kinetic slot, so you'd have to use an Energy Shotgun, I guess. No, there's actually Slice. Okay, there's some. Okay, I will. I've had a revelation. Still a cope, but it's a revelation nonetheless. I just want him to move. My Singer is still pretty nice, even though it's been nerfed into the fucking ground. He should move soon. Don't ask me how I missed that look. I'm not even gonna try to pretend. I just suck. Oh my god, because the power difference. It should have been a one shot. Alright, fine. We're gonna run around like a madman for a second here. We're gonna either he moves or I'm gonna like chaperone. Okay, we're gonna chaperone him. Alright, we're gonna do this. Okay, Roadborn, I have this. Like that was pretty not perfect, but you can. And I was pacing out my shots. You can shoot the chaperone much faster with Roadborn, or almost as fast, or a little faster. I think I was near the max fire rate, but point being, it has its uses. Okay. But the revelation I've come across is. Oh, let me skip down to this. Is since it's tied to Void, kind of blows. But what you could do is you can run a Weapon of Slice. There is at least two primary weapons I can think of. One is the Abundant something from Iron Banner. It's an auto rifle, and it can roll Slice. And you could run Scatter Signal, but then you'd have to exclusively run Acreus or do double like shotgun like in the special and heavy, and I don't like that because you wouldn't have any range. You can also run the bow from the dungeon. Warlord's Rune that also has Slice as a primary. And if you don't know what Slice does, is when you use your class ability, you apply Sever to anything you hit. So, if I were to improve this build, I would run Slice, so then I could have the thing be severed and it wouldn't do as much damage. However, if I'm running Slice, unfortunately that means I'm going to have to run either Energy and Acreus then, and Energy weapons do 10% less damage. And again, I mean that wouldn't be the end of the world, but then I couldn't use I couldn't use my Wastelander. A lot of the shotguns I use are kinetic. I'm trying to think, is there any good energy shotgun? I'm using Found Verdict down there, but I'd have to look to see like if there's any good energy shotguns, you know, stuff like that. Again, I value the kinetics more. But that's the I guess that's the way I would update this build is use a Slice weapon. Again, I might make an addendum. Like I might just like splice in the future, or like in the future just like put in like, oh, I tested this out and it's better or worse. You know what? Here, how about this? Since this is going to be a long video, we're going to try some things. I know I kept the bow of Slice. I just need to remember what the name was. Good, I have 3 of them. We have Vengeful Whisper. Slice Hatchling, perfect. Slice, oh, Hatchling's supposed to be, okay. Alright. So we go with this. Is there... And also another issue is the lost sectors and stuff like that. I wouldn't have anything to stun a barrier. Actually, I could. Solar Slug. And I know of a Solar Slug. Oh, unless I deleted it. Oh, I might have deleted it when I vault cleaned. Shit. Is shotgun. Oh, did I get rid of it? Oh, I'm kicking myself right now. Oh my god, I did have a splicer, solar shotgun. Oh my god, it was a solar slug. How'd I get rid of that, but I kept compass rose? God, I hate myself. Okay. Okay, hold on. Because the issue right now is that I want to be able to proc Flint Striker so I can give myself Radiant, which will let me pierce barrier. I'm thinking. It's Cascade Point. And Cascade Point could be kind of fun. We could try that. I'm actually pissed. I had a Splicer Solar Shotgun Slug and I got rid of it for whatever reason, but I kept Compass Rose. I do not know what's wrong with me. Scheisse. Is there any, like, sorry, I know on your screen you don't see anything. I'm gonna go to D2 Foundry real quick and see if there's any, like, non-sunset solar slug. And I'm gonna say no. I wanna say no. Because the Trials one is Arc. Shotgun. And it has to be a slug, because I don't know if the precision hits from a non-slug shotgun, like, you know, for instance, Ikelos would proc Flint Striker. Energy, solar. No, Sojourner's Tale is the only solar slug I think in the game. Holy crap! If you don't count Duality, wow. And I deleted it. I'm actually Oh, I'm so pissed. Anyways, we'll try this. I did take off what's its face. We're gonna try this. Hold on. I do have Flint Striker on. Cool. Make this Dran Siphon. I'm sorry. I am still. I cannot get over that me, a person who prides himself in hoarding really weird and unique roles, was convinced or whatever. At some point, I deleted the only solar slug shotgun in the game, and it's no longer obtainable. That's really annoying. Not the end of the world, though. I mean, hell, just make a shotgun permeability, I guess. I don't know. Technically, I could keep on Flint's. I could take off Unstoppable Bow to get anti-barrier bow, but I don't know. The real test here is to see if I can actually proc Flint Striker off precision hits off of a pellet shotgun, because again, they can hit crits, although the crit damage from a pellet shotgun isn't much higher from the body shot damage, but it does satisfy the requirement for Flint Striker, so we'll see. About this Cascade Point, so it can be kind of funny if I can like sever something and then I don't know, proc Cascade Point, and while Cascade Point's going off, I hit enough crits to, you know, proc Flint Striker, and it's just like piercing through the barrier. We'll try this like once. I might try it twice. I might try it on the Overload because I kind of want to see how Slice will work. And like I can just kill this guy for free Void Overshield. Oh, this has Threat Detector. Doesn't have whatchamacallit. Auto-loading holster, and I cannot hit crits. This is kind of worrying. Maybe if it wasn't the Vex, which is places now. So does everything Okay, so I can apply Slice to anything. There's not limited. Good to know. But I do need my class ability. We're gonna use a shotgun here. Never mind. I'm trying to like think of a way to get in there. Here, we'll shotgun it out real quick. Because also it is rapid solar defeats, isn't it? To proc Flint Striker. Right, I think I'm not crazy, right? No, I hate this. Okay. Do this here. Slice you. Slice you. Fuck it, just go for it. Oh my god, yeah, that did not proc Flint Striker, and it just like reflected all those bullets back into my skull. Alright. Alright, that is... Okay, that procced Flint. That took like 5 or 6 shots. That is concerning. If it was a slug, it might have only taken like 2. Okay, look. This was me attempting to make the build more endgame friendly, but honestly, I might just prefer it being the way it was. Like, I had way more success just trying to use a accurate and a trench barrel shotgun, so I tried. But all that testing aside, I will do a coil run or some crap, and yeah, we will, thanks for watching if that's all you care for. Again, I'll go over the build, what I actually use, and I'll show off the fashion if you care for it again. Oh, in terms of stats, max resilience, obviously, because damage resist is good, plus it helps your barricade cooldown. I use Rally Barricade because it has a lower cooldown Tower Barricade as well. That's the same reason why. Even for, like, you can tell because of Bastion Overshield, it's on 110. It's crazy. In terms of fragments, offensive Bastion, I think it's an auto include because, you know, it gives you a Void Overshield. I use offensive Bulwark to buff my melee damage, grenade recharge. It's fine. I don't see a, like, I use Controlled Demolition a lot in most of my Void builds, but for this one, like, maybe. I mean, you could use Controlled Demolition to also give you... Oh, no, Echo of Harvest only works off a weekend. Never mind. In terms of grenades, it's up to you. Again, you can swap in suppressors for stunning overloads. I like Void Wall because it does a lot of damage. Shield Throw, I think, is probably, again, non-negotiable because this gives you a... Even if it's a little bit of a Void Overshield, it does give you, as long as you have any portion of Void Overshield, getting the damage buff from the shotgun, or from from backup plans. Again, I like to run double shotgun, which is Wastelander in this case, and Accurate. Again, you could just run Conditional Finality, as you saw, it did really well on its own, or Chaperone. But running double shotgun this way, I have more uptime. At least it feels like I have more uptime. And then for armor mods, again, siphons, whatever you want. I usually run siphons and scavengers. For the gauntlets, I'm running stuff that gives me back my barricade, so bolstering detonation and focusing strike. When I use my grenade, I get class ability energy, and when I use my melee, I get class ability energy. For the chest plate, I usually run melee resist, because just in general, because if you don't know, melee and sniper resist don't necessarily mean that you have to get hit by that respective damage. Like, if melee resist doesn't only decrease damage from melee attacks. If you're within, like, point blank range, which is melee distance, all damage is reduced. So again, like, let's say there's a sniper vandal that is barrel stuffing you with a sniper, melee resistance will actually give you resistance against that. Same with sniper resistance. Just because you're getting sniped by a vandal, any damage that's far away will get reduced. It's not just it has to be a sniper weapon. Now, I don't know the range. I want to say melee resist is 5 meters, but I can't say for sure. And same with sniper resist. But anyways, let's spend too long talking about that. Again, I run resist mods. I don't run that's much what I like to do, especially with this build because Void Overshield's weak. And then for the boots, you'll probably see this on most of my builds. I run a combination of recuperation and better already. In this case, I'm running installation to give me back my class ability back. And then a scavenger. That's what I like to run. In terms of other stuff, proximity ward is, or Reaper here, bomber, and then proximity ward is what Void Overshield should be, or maybe a weaker version of this. Proximity ward is like the overshield this thing generates is crazy. There's a clip somewhere. I might have lost it or deleted it, but I was doing, I want to say, either a GM or a loss. No, I was doing Bay of Drowned Wishes on Master of Arc Threat. I did a finisher, I think on a champion or something, and I got jumped by like 3 or 4 screeds. Again, this is Arc Threat, and they blew up on me, and I survived with half health. Like, that's how strong the Overshield on this thing is. It is so strong. I cannot, like, this is what Void Overshield wants to be. This is what Void Overshield wants to be. But yeah, again, if I were to go over like just like a general like thing in terms of fun factor, it's a really fun build. But in higher levels, you're gonna have to use a bit of your brain power to try kind of make it work. And even then, like, you know, you're over here busting your ass to try to make something work when you can just easily use like Suspend Bot or Strand Titan, or, you know, if you're not on Titan, any other build, right? And make it, and way less effort and way more damage. Like I said, the biggest crux of the build with no backup plans is that you have to use is like regarding like, because it's around shotguns. So I won't say you have to use shotguns because that's just, then why even use exotic. But the main weakness is that this thing requires you to have a Void Overshield, and Void Overshield at the moment of making this is trash. It has 50% DR, which is good. Woven Mail, I want to say, got nerfed down to 45 or 50, but it only has 50 health, so even in high end, even in low end content, it feels like your Void Overshield gets ripped off like really fast. You can generate Void Overshield by getting multiple shotgun final blows. However, again, there are some awkward spots where you don't have anything to kill, you don't have your class ability, you don't have your melee, so this exotic does nothing for you. Again, if you don't have any ammo on your shotgun, this exotic does nothing for you. So it's definitely dependent on a lot of factors, but if you can make it work, as you can see, you can do pretty good damage. You can do pretty good damage. But again, that's it. This is the fashion. If you care for it, I will cut to a coil run, and yeah, thanks for watching. I've decided to do a post-commentary run of a coil. This is a platinum run, by the way, too. I'm not going to commentate over everything. It's just going to be kind of a long intro to some ground rules. Again, this is a platinum run, but all other runs after this are not going to be platinum runs, because I'm just kind of bored of running around breaking pods. Also, during transversal sections and any deaths, I will speed past. And outside of that, I will pop in anytime I think there's something that needs to be said. Again, to reiterate, I'll say this in the end too. The main issue with this build, again, I want to like it, that's why I call it a cope, and it can shine in certain situations, like in the Lost Sector, but ultimately, it all revolves around a Void Shield, and Void Shields just suck, and also using shotguns also kind of suck. So,
if you wish it. Their corruption may reshape these halls. Deal with them before the path collapses around us.
I know I said it'd speed up my deaths. This one's an exception. You'll see me go to my gauntlets and hover over some mods. What I'm trying to highlight is that if in the future when I'm running this build, I'm probably going to have to figure out a way how to fit in arc dexterity, because accuracy has 0 handling, and I cannot understate how slow that makes the weapon feel. Like drawing it out, try to ADS and shoot it, that actually gets me killed in a couple situations. I know trench barrel gets a plus 50, but you have to punch something first, and I think the shotgun also has to be out. I'm not too sure on that, but either way, in the future, I'm gonna run arc dexterity because the accuracy is so slow.
You have wants and wishes to pray.
The last couple of encounters and last boss fight are, you know, starting to show the cracks in this build if it wasn't already apparent. This boss fight kind of just exemplifies that issue. The final boss especially shows off the glaring issue of this, you know, build if you haven't noticed it already.
have wants and wishes to play. This one? Are you certain?
Every time you do a successful loop with a coil, the difficulty increases, I believe, by 5 with the light level difference. I believe it also gets to the point where you're fighting like a master or GM level enemies. And again, to beat a dead horse, you will see the issue of this build at higher levels. Also, when I die here, I switch to the Rosarago. It has Repulsor Brace and Onslaught, I believe. Which works out great because I just picked the perk where doing any void damage gives me the chance to suppress. So, you know, for Repulsor Brace weapon, match made in heaven. I believe this is the only time I swap equipment too. kind of stating the obvious here, but you know, when you use no backup plans, you're obviously using shotguns, and you'll see what happens when you get an enemy where shotgunning them isn't necessarily the problem, but weird angles and not knowing you trench barrel because you hit immune on a floating Hydra can also come into play.
All the years in the universe won't be.
Yeah, I'm hoping that stomp range is a bug, like with the Vex Strike Force Minotaurs, because if not, again, it just, I was in disbelief when that happened to me. I legitimately was just so confused. And it took me a little longer than I like to admit to, you know, counter punch every time that boss stomps so you don't go flying. But again, another example of why this build doesn't work out in, you know, high-end content, because, you know, boss goes for a stomp, even if you avoid overshield and you counter punch and get flying, it gets immediately ripped off, and then there goes all your damage. this example is kind of why I want to fit in an arc dexterity mod there, because if you can tell, I try to ADS, but accuracy is too slow to do it. And in hindsight, yeah, I should have just hip fired it, but again, zero handling. Some closing thoughts on the build. Like I said, it's a fun build, and I do enjoy using it, and you can make it work in like lost sectors, but obviously as you go higher and higher, the main issue about this entire build is that the exotic, no backup plans, lives and dies off of Void Overshield. It gives you another way to get a Void Overshield by giving rapid shotgun kills, and there's also like Repulsor Brace now, we have, you know, obviously Bastion. But once that Void Overshield comes off, the exotic is dead. Also, if you don't have any shotgun ammo, the exotic is dead. You know, now it's interesting because, like, you know, the obvious, like, if you want to get in close and have that, like, you know, close quarter brawler fantasy style gameplay like this is trying to emulate, obviously just play Strand Titan, right? That's the entire point. And, you know, people, you know, say Strand Titan's overpowered, all this other stuff. It kind of reminds me of Warframe example. I know it's kind of bad if you haven't played Warframe, but just to be clear, back in the day in Warframe, you used to have self-damage on explosive weapons, AoE weapons, and the issue of AoE weapons is that their damage output was so low to enemies, but it was so high to the player that you'd one-shot yourself, but you wouldn't do anything to the enemy. And then came out the Kuva Brahma. The Kuva Brahma was so overpowered, it truly justified self-damage being in the game. If every other explosive weapon was like that, then no one would have an issue self-damage, right? Kind of like with Strand Titan. The reason why Strand Titan feels so overtuned and so overpowered is that this is your alternative if you want to get close, right? You will get obliterated. Every boss has a stomp. As you see in the coil, these bosses have AoE stomps that have like lingering dot damage, you know? The final boss just launches you across the room. So even if you counterpunch, that void shield's getting ripped off and you're losing half your health, right? They could try to add like a void overshield, like health gate thing, where if your void overshield pops, you get some immunity. Again, obviously these are all for PvE changes, and the screen's gonna go black here because I'm, you know, talking over my time. But what I'm saying essentially is, like, outside of Renewal Grass Hunter and like Stronghold Titan, nothing really can get that close. Obviously Strand Titan, but nothing can get that close because this is the alternative, right? You just get punished and die instantly. Again, and with no backup plans, 35% damage buff is nothing to scoff at. It's pretty good, but it's just not good enough for the hoops you have to jump through and trying to maintain your Void Overshield. Again, in terms of like buffs, proposed changes, I mean, even in the exotic, you know, quote, you know, no ammo, no problem, they could probably add in the you know, the heavy-handed secondary perk from the old mod system, where if you're surrounded by enemies, you get ammo loaded back into your special weapon. They could have the D1 functionality, where, you know, getting shotgun kills give you back some melee, so then you can chain that into like another Sentinel shield throw or something. They could obviously just buff Void Overshield, again, give it a Void Overshield gate. There's a lot of things they can do with this exotic, but like I said at the very beginning of this video, I use it for fun. If I want to, like, you know, change it up, I've used this in Crota's End instead of using a sword like on Crota. It can work. But don't expect to do GMs, or again, even in the coil where you have all these perks and abilities, and even with attrition, even though it's a, you know, it can be more bad than good. In this case, it's usually good for the most time. There's only like a couple instances where I died because I couldn't recover. But the point being, even with all this help, the build still kind of falls apart because, again, just to reiterate for the 18,000th time, this exotic lives and dies on Void Overshield, and Void Overshield is just bad right now in PvE. But that's pretty much it, and thanks for watching.